Hello, good afternoon and welcome. You're watching News Central now on News Central Television. My name is Mazino Appeal. The top stories this hour. Vice President Shettima visits families of Sokoto military airstrike victims, apologizes. 13 abducted wedding guests rescued in Kwara State. And Chad votes in triple elections after 3 years of army rule. Details coming up now. We begin by telling you that Vice President Kashim Shettima has apologized to the families of the victims of the bombing in Silame Local Government Area of Sokoto State. 10 people were killed in airstrikes on Christmas Day, December 25th, when the military targeted a logistics base of the Lukarawa insurgents group in 2 communities in the LGA. Shettima said it was one of those rare sad moments when innocent civilians are caught in crossfires in the ongoing efforts to rid the country of all forms of terror. The Vice President Shettima said this when he led a delegation from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on a condolence visit to the government and people of Jigawa State on the passing of the mother and son of the state governor Alhaji Umar Namadi. He prayed for Allah to grant the souls of the deceased eternal rest and Al-Jannah Firdaus, adding, may Allah also grant the families the fortitude to bear these irreparable losses.
We are here at the behest of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to commiserate with the government and people of Jigawa State over the sad loss of the matriarch of the Namadi family, Hajiya Mariam, and Abdul Wahab, the eldest son of the governor. Death is an inevitable destiny that is hanging over everyone's neck. And our heart goes out to the family and to the entire government and people of Jigawa State. May Allah grant the souls of the deceased eternal rest and reward them with his Al-Jannah Firdaus. And may Allah also grant the family the fortitude to bear the irreparable losses.
In the meantime, the Defense Headquarters has assured citizens that there is no need for alarm regarding reports of Boko Haram and ISWAP using drones to target troops' locations. Director of Defense Media Operations Major General Edward Buba clarified that the drones in question are not military-grade but merely toys intended to intimidate civilians. He emphasized that these devices are ineffective and pose no significant threats. Major General Buba stated that measures are in place to counter such tactics and reassured the public that these threats are being effectively addressed. He also dismissed rumors of foreign military bases in Nigeria, reiterating the country's rejection of proxy wars. Now, earlier, we were joined by a security expert, Tony Ofeyitan.
Communication with respect to the drone effectively well is commendable. But I don't think that it's something that should be handled with such kid gloves. Because the way it operates in most cases is first of all to test the water and see to what extent the government is able to come all out against such antics. Drone is a major security challenge globally today because drone is capable of doing what humans will not be able to do, and they are capable of assessing where humans will not be able to easily assess. They also have assault drones and the like. Now that simply means that if we have a situation where the Boko Haram and the terrorist group are already test running, and that is the way it should be seen. It's not just be seen as mere toy. Terrorists don't operate at that pedestrian level. Terrorists are not jokers, they are not comedians. What they do is first of all to do what is called a test running of that, and first of all see the reaction of the government. So I think that the first thing is for the government to go all out. Even if you assume without conceding that it is it's a mere toy, then you need to go all out to ensure that you mop out the forest and mop out such technology.
Meanwhile, residents of Rumtawa and Gidasama communities in the Silame Local Government Area of Sokoto State have raised fresh allegations against the Nigerian military. This is coming 3 days after the Christmas Day Air Force bombing on communities by Air Force fighter jets targeting the Lukarawa terrorist group. Some residents of the community spoke to News Central Television, accusing the military of gross rights violations and spreading fake news about the attack. One of the victims, named Umaru Dogo, who lost his entire family during the attack, comprising his wife, 4 daughters and a son, says that he was also assaulted by military personnel, accusing him of being a member of the terrorist group. Another member of the community also dismissed recent statements from the defense headquarters in Abuja, saying that they are false and misleading.
Bayan su sako mana wuta kuma mun gudu daga sama ko daga ƙasa sun zo da daga hannu so da wuta saboda daga cikin sun halbe mutum uku mun ta mun gudu bayan mun nan suke nan waɗanda an matacci muna fama hidda su so ina bayan an riga an samu bom daga sama ya kashe mutane nawa kenan gaba daya guda nawa saka biyo ku da wuta kuma an ga bindige ku to shikenan muna banda mun yi haka mun je kuma mun yi gudu wasu sun haɗi sun ji mu banda mun gama haka kuma sun kira ni na je wajen su na faɗa musu bayani na sun koma cewa ga wuta can sai sun sani cikin ta saboda ni ina barawo sun ce to abinda ai shi barawo bai bace ya kamata su auna ni da ƙasa na haddisa na sun ga hanyar wanda adda zalunci ba na sun ga ciwa su kashe to tun ga shirin nan sun yi awo ba su samu komi a wajen mu ba sannan wani abu wanda suka damuwa cewa akwai shi mu a wannan gari mu so su to su yi awo ne su bincika saboda in ba haka nan sun kai ba kaga ba mu da kwantaccen hankali mu muna ga namu nazari mu talakawan nan na magaji ba mu san komi bayan aiki ko kotun wa mako ko silame babu wanda mun ka taba kara wanda haka yanzu gashi an to an kashe muna ɗaya an kashe muna dukiya wato wai ya tukuna wai bayan an harbe mutane daga sama wai a ce wai kuna kwashe mutane a tukuna aka harba daga sama bara daga wannan tukuna mutane aka harba aka samu aka aka harba mutum goma sa'alin nan kuna so ku kwashe mutum 10 nan ku musu jana'iza sai aka zo kuma aka harbe mutane uku so mutum 13 kenan an kashe anan garin su waɗannan aka harba da abin ba su mutu nan mutum 9 mutum wanda aka harba suna asibiti yanzu wanda asibiti suke kudu kaga wani babban bayani kenan so it's a very serious matter here wuta ta kone guda 6 suna can wanda wuta ta kone guda 6 ana can so wato banda wanda suka mutu daban wanda goma an business su sako wanda wuta suka kone 6 suna asibiti wanda wuta sun halba mutu uku sa wanda aka harba suna asibiti kuma uku so kimanin ma wanda suke cikin rauni suna asibiti mutane na kenan duka 6 zai zama 6 7 8 9 kenan so about 9 people are injured 6 people were affected with fire and they're receiving treatment, while 3 were shot physically by land army who are trying to bury the 10 persons that were actually shot down by the Air Force jet. So that's a very precarious situation that they are actually facing. That's what they are trying to explain. Now, a gentleman here is saying that he's not a member of Lakurawa. He lost 6 of his family members, his wife and his 5 children, and the police soldiers came in to harass him at the same time. He has never seen Lakurawa. He's not a terrorist. But he came in, the soldiers came in, harassed him. He said he has never even reported anyone to court before. That he has never reported anybody before. He doesn't know anything. So why would he be? He doesn't even have any fight.
Kwara State Police Command said it has rescued 13 wedding guests who were victims of kidnappings in Idofi-Igbana in the Oke-Ero Local Government Area of the state. The command, in a statement signed by the police public relations officer Aditon Ejiri Adeyemi, said that 13 victims were going for a wedding program in neighbouring Kogi State when they were kidnapped by assailants on December 21st, 2024. The victims were reportedly accosted by 6 armed kidnappers dressed in military and civilian uniforms on their way to Kogi State. Ejiri Adeyemi revealed that the rescued victims include 3 females and 10 males from various locations, including Odowa in Oke-Ero, LGA, Ilorin, Ogbomosho, and a group of trailer drivers en route to Kogi State. Away from that now. Retired military generals, former diplomats and security experts have urged President Bola Tinubu to patronize, or rather prioritize, fortifying Nigeria's northern borders amidst rising security concerns stemming from the ongoing crisis with Niger. The call comes as Niger's military regime accuses Nigeria of engaging in destabilising activities. The experts emphasized the need for caution in handling this crisis, stressing that the safety of Nigerians, particularly in northern communities, should remain top priority. Speaking on the matter, retired General Bashir Adewimbi advised the federal government to activate a security contingency plan to shield border communities from potential fallouts. He warned that instability in Niger could have significant security implications for Nigeria's northern region. This comes as tensions continue to escalate between the two West African neighbors, highlighting the urgent need for proactive measures to safeguard the country's territorial integrity. Now, the Army has decorated newly promoted brigadier generals and other senior officers in Maiduguri as part of its ongoing operations in the Northeast. The event held at the Joint Task Force Northeast Headquarters, Operation Hadinkai, witnessed the elevation of key military leaders who have been instrumental in combating insurgency in the region. News Central's Oke-Ero has more.
Away from the usual gunfire and battles on the front lines to stem the tide of insurgency, it's a day for smiles shared with family members and loved ones.
We have decided to redouble our efforts to ensure that the menace of terrorism is completely wiped out of the territory of Nigeria.
We want to assure Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, of our continued loyalty and perseverance in ensuring that we bring peace not only to the Northeast region, but to the whole entire country.
The newly promoted officers, who have demonstrated exceptional leadership and tactical expertise in various counterinsurgency operations, were commended for their tireless efforts in the region.
On behalf of the government and good people of Borno State, let me extend our congratulations to the newly promoted officers. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors, and I hope this new role will catapult you to the next level.
You now manage complex problems. And in managing complex problems, there are a lot of stakeholders you need to, not only your soldiers this time around. So you'll be up there looking at the problems and trying to bring solutions. I urge you to look at the Chief of Army Staff and the Chief of Naval Staff. And when you go back, tell yourself, I will not let you down. Everything you do must be within the ambit of the law.
They emphasized that the promotion ceremony not only honored the individual officers, but also marked a turning point in the Nigerian Army's fight against insurgency.
As we wear our new ranks, I want to state that we recommit ourselves to the service and the defense of our dear fatherland, Nigeria.
Amid smiles, they move forward with strategies and discussions to address ongoing security challenges across the region. In Maiduguri for News Central, Oke-Ero.
As part of the Yuletide celebrations, an amusement park in honor of Maria Abiodun Lagbaja, wife of the late former Chief of Army Staff, has been unveiled at the 3rd Division Maxwell Hobe Cantonment in Jos, the Plateau State capital. The chairperson of the Nigerian Army Officers' Wives Association 3 Division, Fibishola Abubakar, stated that the project aims to provide a safe and enriching space for play and learning for children in the barracks community. News Central's Chizabanyanwe has more.
By my humble self, Major General A. Abubakar, General Staff Commanding 3 Division and Commander Operations 7.
This was the unveiling of the Maria Abiodun Lagbaja Park, also known as the Mall Park. The facility exemplifies the timeless adage, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, highlighting the importance of leisure amidst work. Beyond its recreational purpose, the park contributes to the efficiency and productivity of personnel while ensuring that children of 3 Division and Operation Safe Haven are not left out. The host of the event, Chairperson of Naowa 3 Division, Fibishola Abubakar, explained that the park is a legacy project designed to positively impact lives.
The park was created to offer our children a safe and joyful place to play, learn, and grow. As we open the gate to this beautiful park, let us commit to nurturing the space and each other. Let us continue to build a community where every child can thrive and where unity and love prevail.
The special guest of honor, Major General Abdusalam Abubakar, who serves as the General Officer Commanding 3 Division and Commander Operation Safe Haven, emphasized that the Mall Park also caters to the mental well-being of officers and personnel.
This significant occasion marks not only the unveiling of a remarkable memorial facility, but also reflects our unwavering commitment to the welfare and well-being of our troops and their families, as well as the supportive community that surrounds us.
Following the cake cutting ceremony to celebrate the park's unveiling, General Abubakar also inaugurated the Naowa and ISWAP football teams. The park offers various facilities for children, including a football field, basketball court, bouncy castle, trampoline, gazebos, and an 8x12 5-foot swimming pool. The children expressed their excitement and joy.
This is the best day of my life to visit a park, and it's very, very nice. And we love all the cool stuff that we saw here.
I'm so happy to be in this place today because everything is looking so fun and interesting. I am happy, and I want to say thank you to the Nigerian Army for this.
I'm very happy because of the fun I'm having here. I'm happy because of the fun I'm having here with my friends.
Now, with the joy seen on the faces of these children gathered here today, one would expect that the coordinators of this park would maintain as well as sustain the legacies left here today for posterity. In Jos for News Central, Chizoba and Naomi.
Welcome back. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project has called on President Bola Tinubu to instruct the Code of Conduct Bureau to make his declared assets public. In a press release dated December 28, 2024 and signed by SERAP's Deputy Director Kolawole Oluwadare, the organization also urged Vice President Kashim Shettima, ministers, state governors and National Assembly leaders to follow the president's lead in promoting transparency. SERAP commended President Tinubu for his remarks during his first presidential media chat, where he hinted at the possibility of requesting the CCB to release the assets. However, the organization urged the president to take immediate action, arguing that swift directives would reinforce his commitment to accountability. The statement stressed that secrecy surrounding assets declaration by public officials remains a significant driver of corruption in Nigeria, undermining good governance at all levels. SERAP's call underscores growing public demand for transparency and accountability in Nigeria's leadership. The Nigerian House of Representatives is deliberating on a proposed bill aimed at separating the roles of the Attorney General of the Federation from that of the Ministers of Justice. The bill, jointly sponsored by Mansur Soro Bauchi State and Oluwole Oke from Osun State, both of the People's Democratic Party, is currently under review by the House Committee on Constitution Review, chaired by Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu. If passed, the bill will amend Section 150 of the 1999 Constitution to establish a distinct office for the Attorney General of the Federation, separate from the Ministry of Justice. Similarly, the bill seeks to amend Sections 195 of the Constitution to create a separate Attorney General for each state. This move, according to the sponsors of the bill, is aimed at strengthening legal independence and ensuring greater accountability in the country's justice system. And away from that, traders at the Masaka market in the Oke-Ero Local Government Area of Nasarawa State have appealed to the state governor and kind-hearted Nigerians for assistance following a fire incident on Friday night, destroying goods worth millions of naira. The market, which is usually a beehive of activities, was engulfed by fire around 10 or 11 p.m. on Friday, but was contained by fire safety officials to prevent further spread. Our correspondent, Idong Joseph, has more on this story.
In the aftermath of the inferno, a somber feeling pervades the atmosphere as some traders rush to salvage what they can from the wreckage. Others can only watch in disbelief as their dreams and hopes have been lost in the fire. Also observed on the scene was the presence of scavengers who were seen moving through the market, taking what had been left behind.
Mun zo mun yi kasuwan Juma'a mun tafi gida-gida ina sabon karshe. Misalin karfe 10 na dare sai aka ce kasuwan Masaka ya kama da wuta. Sai na dauko mashin sai na taho. Kafin na zo ma shago na guda biyu da suto na guda daya duk sun kama da wuta.
I came to market this morning after someone called me that the market was burning. So I was thinking that it's a minor issue. I was thinking that maybe a part of the market which normally happens as a fire incident. So when I came, I found out that almost all the major areas of the market has burnt. As you can see, all the shops. My shop is located in that area. That's where I keep my goods.
When I got information that my shop was razed down by fire, then I thought it was a mere joke. I thought it was a mirage. Then when I rushed down to this very place, it came to a reality that my shop was gone down.
A few of the traders, still in shock, recount their losses.
I invest my money in my goods. I don't keep cash as a trader because I know that even though I go market, I will always sell. My daily bread comes from my business. So I didn't expect this kind of incident. Just like it's cut off.
It is my life service that I put in there. And I was hoping that after the season, I will make out something that I will start a new life.
While the exact cause of the fire remains unknown, several traders are calling on the government for intervention to help cushion their losses and assist them in rebuilding their lives.
We need the government intervention to assist. As a business person, as a businessman I am, and some other people.
Whatever the government feels like to compensate people with, we'll make do with that. Idan gwamnati za ta taimaka wa 'yan kasuwa ba wanda ba shi da shago za ta nema ta ce a je a taimaka 'yan kasuwa wannan ba gaskiya bane baya zuwa hannun 'yan kasuwa.
While the traders here are counting their loss, they are hoping that help will get to them as soon as possible, as this is their only source of livelihood. From the Masaka market in Oke-Ero Local Government of Nasarawa State, I am Idong Joseph.
Now our correspondent Joshua Mari now joins us from the scene of the fire incident to give us updates. Joshua, good afternoon and thank you for joining us. Please tell us what the situation of things is at this moment.
Well, I'm currently live at the Masaka market here in the Federal Capital Territory. And what you can see now is that a series of shops earlier in the market has been reduced to shambles, as the activity you can see now are the activities of scavengers who are capitalizing on the inferno to rake off as much as they could for their own personal misgivings. As you can see, as the camera is panning, you see the market has been reduced to ruins. A large portion of the market has been reduced to ruins, and those who could salvage what they could salvage have done that already. And some have even started to erect a new structure, as you can see behind me. There are stakes planted to the ground for a new step to take place. Some people have gotten past the entire incident as they started reviewing efforts in the market. But what you can see now is basically the activity of scavengers in the market, trying to gather as much as they can, particularly iron, broken glasses, as much as you can see. That is what is actually ongoing here in the Masaka market that was raised down by Inferno earlier yesterday.
Now, Joshua, what about the reaction from the government? The marketers and also patrons of the market have actually asked for help, but has there been any reaction from the state government?
For now, we've not heard anything from the state government, from the government actually. Nobody has said anything. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory hasn't said anything. Nobody has said anything. The marketers here and traders here are still counting their losses, hoping to see some magic or some last hour miracle happen for them to scale up the entire situation. But those who want to know now, nothing has happened. Nobody has reached out to anybody. The marketers are on their own here. As you can see, some of those who have lost their properties, particularly this woman standing behind me, discussing her losses. You can see her, she's almost teary. She's actually teary now, as you can see. She's caught up in the entire situation. She's crying. All her things have gone down. Nothing has gone. She started nothing for the entire thing. As you can hear, after 20 years, she has this property. And she has been able to check out all her efforts for years have been broken down to ruin and condemned by the inside of the Fiji market. What I want to say so far is that she's an adult the one who sells herbal mixtures, and our shop is right here. As you can see, there are rooms essence and the lamps of the things you can find in the shop of an agbo seller. They've been brought to a ruin, and nothing could be salvaged from this inferno. She has stored in this particular place for 20 years. And what she's saying that there has been no help, she has been reduced to nothing. She's the only one who is there, and nothing else is come out of the entire inferno that runs down the shop last year. As you can see, this is just one of the many types of market, as I say, that play in this market here. It is a sad type, and it's not one that anyone will pay for. It is actually the reality of an average here in the market.
Well, Joshua, I want to say thank you very much for bringing us an update on the situation there in Kwara, Nasarawa State. Thank you. We'll be coming to you for more updates as the day goes. Now, moving on from that, the governors of Rivers and Bayelsa State, Siminalayi Fubara and Doyediri, have reaffirmed their commitments to resolving the long-standing dispute over the Sokoto oil wells and Bayelsa's properties in Port Harcourt. During a Christmas visit to Fubara in Port Harcourt, Diri commended his counterpart's peaceful approach to addressing the contentious issues. The meeting followed an earlier visit by Fubara to Yenagoa. The River State governor highlighted the historical ties between the two states, calling for mutual cooperation and a peaceful resolution that serves the best interest of both parties. The two leaders also emphasized the need to strengthen the Brace Commission, a regional body aimed at fostering development and integration among Bayelsa, Rivers, and neighboring states.
More importantly today, I'd like to also put on record that since you came on board, between our two states, it has been very peaceful. Between our two states, we have had a whole lot of understanding, even in areas where we had some previous disagreements. And for me, that is very instructive. Very instructive. And I'd like to make a particular reference to the Sokoto oil wells that generated a whole lot of heat between our two states. For now, between us, we have agreed that let us go back to the status quo before whatever that happened.
So you just mentioned a few of the things we've been able to resolve within this short period. But above all, the most important thing is I want a better and stronger relationship with Bayelsa. If there is any issue of development in this state, if it doesn't work, if we don't work with Bayelsa, we can't sustain the development. And the truth about it is, good number of people that are living here are people from Bayelsa. They might work administratively there, but they reside here. So if we are developing this state, it is also for the interest and the betterment of Bayelsa. So we are not going to end here. We also need that side to also be better, so that the growth among this region will be uniform.
Now we're going to break, and when we get back, we'll take a look at 2024 in retrospect, an overview of Nigeria's power, oil, and gas sectors. Welcome back. Now, 2024 has been a year of highs and lows, marked by significant developments and recurring challenges with Nigeria's power, oil, and gas sectors affected remarkably, notably with the persistent issue of power grid collapse. Now, this year alone, the country's power grid suffered multiple failures, leaving millions without electricity for extended periods of time. Our News Central's correspondent Bettina Nweli examines key activities in Nigeria's power as well as oil and gas sectors in 2024.
The power sector has faced another turbulent year, with persistent grid collapses remaining a major concern. Nigeria's electricity grid, which supplies power to millions of homes and businesses, at the time of filing this report suffered 12 outages this year, highlighting long-standing issues of inadequate infrastructure and system management. Experts have pointed to the urgent need for investment in grid stability and modern technology to prevent such recurring failures.
There is no way anybody will look at the power sector in the last 1 year and say that it has done well. I believe that the presidency, at this point, should by themselves be able to sit up and ask themselves the critical questions. Do they have the right hands to hand you? Is it the right hand that is handing TCA? Multiple, billions of dollars that we spent on this in the last 10 years. Why would we continue to have old infrastructure as excuses for the national grid collapse? What about the subsequent losses to the economy? What about the industries?
As Nigeria pushes to embrace alternative energy solutions, CNG gained rapid popularity over petrol due to its affordability and eco-friendliness. However, considering the few cases of CNG gas explosions experienced in 2024, safety continues to remain a priority in order to maximize its benefits.
If you do it with a certified federal government center, then you are rest assured of the materials that they are using. Then the next one is that you do a walk-around check on a daily basis. Move around the vehicle, check the cylinder area, try out to perceive smell. So the moment you're perceiving smell, so that means there's leakage around. Then when you are feeling the gas, it's not advisable to stay inside the vehicle while you're feeling the gas. Then finally, avoid impact as much as possible.
In the oil and gas sector, 2024 saw a mix of old challenges and new beginnings. The nation's crude oil production remained under pressure due to theft and pipeline vandalism, and the non-availability of fuel supply led to long queues and mass frustrations. Perhaps the most significant highlight of the year was the commissioning of new refineries, including the much-anticipated Dangote refinery in Lagos, which has the capacity to refine up to 650,000 barrels of crude oil daily, positioning Nigeria to significantly reduce its dependency on imported petroleum products.
Dangote refinery commenced operation this year. There is also the rehabilitation of Port Harcourt refinery, and this just shows Nigeria's resilience and our commitment to leveraging the use of natural resource for economic development. Another big one is the fact that after years of underperformance, we actually met the quota that was set by OPEC for the first time in many years.
Additionally, Modular refineries across the Niger Delta region have started to make an impact, providing a decentralized approach to oil refining and supporting local economies. These developments signal a gradual shift towards self-sufficiency in fuel production, a long-standing goal for Africa's largest oil producer. Experts are optimistic that these refineries will not only improve fuel availability, but also create jobs and strengthen the Naira through reduced foreign exchange demand for imports.
Sokoto refinery have helped create job opportunities. They have helped reduce reliance on petroleum, on imported petroleum products, and even reduction in price of PMS. But the truth is there's actually one significant challenge. For instance, Dangote refinery is reliant on imported crude oil, right? And so this has remove some of the cost benefit that we would have hoped to see as regards having domesticated refineries.
While the new refineries offer hope, challenges remain. The recurring issue of oil theft and pipeline vandalism has continued to impact revenue generation. As the year 2024 comes to an end, the power and oil sectors remain a mix of opportunities and hurdles. While the government continues to reiterate its commitment to reforms and infrastructure investments, Nigerians are eager to see these promises materialize in their daily lives. In Lagos, for News Central, I am Bettina Nwili.
Welcome back. Now in Central Africa, Chad goes to the polls on Sunday for legislative, provincial and local elections that are presented by the government as the last stage of a political transition after 3 years of military rule, but are being boycotted by the opposition. The boycott leaves the field open to candidates aligned with Marshal Muhammad Idris Itno, who was brought to power by the military in 2021 and then legitimized in a presidential election last May that opposition candidates denounced as fraudulent. Earlier on Saturday evening, the opposition Democratic Party of the Chadian people claimed that more than 1,000 ballots intended for the sub-prefecture of Bongo had disappeared. Polling stations opened from 6 a.m. will close by 6 p.m. to welcome the approximately 8 million registered voters watched by 100 foreign observers and representatives of different political parties. And French armed forces have released a video showing the handover of the Faye military base in Chad to the Chadian army. This comes less than a month after the surprise announcement of the suspension of the military agreement between Paris and N'Djamena. This move follows Chad's abrupt termination of military cooperation last month with its former colonial power. French troops are also set to leave bases in Abidjan and the capital N'Djamena. And still in Central Africa, local sources report that at least 21 people were killed by ADF rebels linked to the Islamic State group in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo during Christmas week. The attacks reportedly occurred near Mangarejipa, a town known for its rich mineral deposits, which has been a frequent target of the Allied Democratic Forces. Originally from Uganda, the ADF has operated in the DRC's northeast since the mid-1990s, killing thousands of civilians over the years. In 2019, the ADF pledged allegiance to the Islamic State, which now refers to them as its Central African province and claims responsibility for some of their attacks. To counter the threats, Uganda and the DRC launched a joint military operation against the ADF in late 2021. Despite these efforts, Eastern Congo remains a hotspot for violence fueled by decades of conflicts between various armed groups over the region's vast mineral wealth. Now, outside the African continent, a Jeju airplane carrying 181 people from Thailand to South Korea crashed on arrival on Sunday, smashing into a barrier and bursting into flames, leaving all but 2 feared dead. A bird strike and adverse weather conditions were cited by authorities as likely causes of the crash that flung passengers out of the plane and left it almost completely destroyed. Video showed the Jeju airplane from Bangkok landing on its belly at Muan International Airport, skidding off the runway as smoke streamed out from its engines before crashing into a wall and exploding in flames. Only 2 were rescued. Both flight attendants and 124 people were confirmed dead by mid-afternoon. Now, Nigeria's Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, has attributed the inability to achieve the target of 6,000 megawatts electricity generation by December 2024 to widespread vandalism of critical power transmission infrastructure. Despite government's stride to enhance power generation, the destruction of electricity towers drained progress. Bolaji Tunji, Special Advisor on Strategic Communications and Media Relations, confirmed the setback during an exclusive interview. Currently, Nigeria's power generation fluctuates between 4,000 megawatts and 4,900 megawatts from 19 plants, serving a population of approximately 200 million. Adelabu had earlier projected reaching 6,000 megawatts by year-end, but recurrent grid collapses and vandalism undermined system stability, delaying significant improvements in electricity supply. As of Saturday, output stood at 4,363.79 megawatts. And now sports. Nigeria's home-based Super Eagles have secured qualification for the 2025 Africa Nations Championship, the CHAN, after defeating Ghana's Black Galaxies 3-1 in Uyo on Saturday. The victory ended Nigeria's 6-year absence from the tournament. Goals from Sadiq Ismail, Nduka Jr. and Kazim Ogunleye in the first 25 minutes sealed the win after a goalless first leg in Accra. Ghana's Stephen Amankuna scored a consolation goal in the 73rd minute. This victory marked Nigeria's first CHAN win over Ghana, who had denied them qualification in 2008 and 2022. Stand-in coach Daniel Ogumodide praised the team's performance, highlighting the importance of showcasing local strength. Now, Super Eagles midfielder Fisa Adele Bashiru scored his second Serie A goal for Lazio, but Ademola Lookman's late assist salvaged the 1-1 draw for Atlanta in Rome. The result kept Atlanta at the top of the table despite ending their 11-match winning streak. Dele Bashiru, marking a rare start, scored a brilliant strike in the 27th minute, showcasing his potential. However, Lookman provided a perfectly timed assist in the 88th minute to deny Lazio a win. The draw marked Dele Bashiru's 4th goal of the season, while Lookman's contribution continued his impressive form with 12 goals and 6 assists this season. And in tennis, Novak Djokovic has urged greater transparency in tennis doping cases, criticizing inconsistent handling by government bodies. Now, his comments follow recent doping violations by world number 1s Jannik Sinner and Iga Swiatek. Djokovic agreed with Nick Kyrgios, who labeled tennis integrity as awful. Djokovic, set to play doubles with Kyrgios in Brisbane, highlighted delays in resolving cases, pointing out that top players seem to receive different treatments. He expressed frustration over players being left uninformed for months, citing Sinner's positive test in April and wasn't disclosed until August. Djokovic also referenced similar cases involving Simona Halep and Swiatek, emphasizing that the lack of transparency damages the sport's reputation. Kasper Ruud's hard-fought victory over Thomas Machak wasn't enough to save Norway from a 2-1 defeat to the Czech Republic at the United Cup on Sunday. Ruud, ranked world number 6, edged Machak 7-6, 5-7, 6-4 after nearly 3 hours of Ken Roswell Arena at the Ken Roswell Arena. Karolina Muchova had earlier given the Czechs the lead, defeating Malin Helgo 6-2, 6-2 in the deciding mixed doubles. Machak and Muchova beat Viktor Durasovic and Yurik Ukeri 6-4, 6-4, with Ruud opting out due to a quad injury. Rude admitted the match was a wake-up call for the season ahead. The 18-nation United Cup continues in Perth and Sydney, with defending champions Germany facing Brazil and the US playing Canada. And that's all this hour. But before we go, let's take a look at some of the major stories. Vice President Kashim Shettima visited families of Sokoto military airstrike victims and apologized. And 13 abducted wedding guests have been rescued in Kwara State. Also, we told you that Chad are voting in triple elections after 3 years of army rule. And do remember, you can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and of course on YouTube. Many thanks for watching. My name is Mazino Appeal.